This is The Space Shot, episode 277 for February 15th, 2018. Chelyabinsk and Galileo. I'm John Molnix. If you've ever watched the Russian dashcam videos of car crashes and crazy drivers, you'll know that these cameras are always running. On February 15th, 2013, these cameras caught an astronomical event instead of a car crash. The Chelyabinsk meteor was approximately 20 meters, or about 65 feet in diameter. Its size, coupled with its high speed, meant that the meteor had an explosive force between 400 and 500 kilotons, a yield equivalent to a modern American thermonuclear warhead. For comparison, the nuclear weapons used in World War II on Hiroshima and Nagasaki had yields between 15 and 20 kilotons. The explosive force of meteorites can be devastating. The Chelyabinsk meteor airburst over the city, causing windows in the area to shatter and injuring people that were caught in the glass that inevitably shattered throughout the city. The result of this event is that there's been a renewed interest in planetary defense from near-Earth objects. Cataloging these objects and providing warnings about potential impacts is critical. Now we're going to go back a couple hundred years for a birthday. Galileo Galilei, an Italian astronomer, physicist, and mathematician, among other professions, was born on February 15, 1564. Throughout the years, his work on optics allowed him to create a telescope that enabled him to observe Jupiter, and he found that the planet had moons that orbited around it. The four Galilean moons, as they're now known, Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, were first seen in 1610 when Galileo used his home-built telescope to observe the planets. Galileo also made important contributions to physics. There's the apocryphal story of him dropping 2 steel weights off of the Leaning Tower of Pisa in order to prove that these objects fall at the same speed, even though their masses are different. While this event may or may not have happened, Apollo 15 Commander David Scott performed a demonstration of this principle on the moon. As he was closing up an EVA, Scott held a hammer and a feather in his hands and dropped them to the surface at the same time. Let's listen in to the audio of Scott performing this experiment.
Well, in my left hand I have a feather. In my right hand a hammer. And I guess one of the reasons we got here today was because of a gentleman named Galileo a long time ago who made a rather significant discovery about falling objects in gravity fields. And we thought that where would be a better place to confirm his findings than on the moon. And so we thought we'd try it here for you. The feather happens to be appropriately a falcon feather for our falcon. And I'll drop the 2 of them here, and hopefully they'll hit the ground at the same time. How about that? That proves that Mr. Galileo was correct in his findings.
Be sure to check the show notes for a video of this demonstration on the moon. Galileo's work on astronomy didn't go unnoticed, especially by the Catholic Church. In 1633, just 385 years ago, Galileo was sentenced during an inquisition for his belief that the sun, not the earth, lies at the center of the universe. Rejecting the church-supported geocentric model of the universe, in which the earth lies at the center of everything, was a central part of the inquisition against him. Galileo's findings showed that the Copernican view, or the heliocentric, sun-centered model of our solar system, is the correct model. In addition to discovering moons orbiting Jupiter, Galileo also observed sunspots. He made significant contributions to astronomy and to our understanding of the solar system. After being sentenced, he spent the rest of his life under house arrest, dying at the age of 77 in 1642. Now we've got a little bit of pop culture history. On February 15, 1993, the Star Trek The Next Generation episode Tapestry aired on television. This is one of my favorite Star Trek episodes, and it involves Q, the omnipotent, mischievous being that plagues Picard and the Enterprise crew.
feeling a little jumpy this morning? Are we guilty, perhaps?
I don't feel guilty about anything, Q.
No? We're just friends, Q. Nothing more.
I'm linking to this episode in the show notes, so if you've never seen it before, do yourself a favor and check it out. I would really appreciate it if you could venture into the Apple Podcasts app or your podcast app of choice and leave a review for The Space Shot. To those of you that have already left reviews, thank you. For everyone else, reviews are critical because a steady stream of reviews ensures that The Space Shot stays higher up in the Apple Podcasts search algorithm. As always, the show notes have more information on today's episode. You can hit me up on Instagram and Twitter. Find me at John Molnix. I'm always up to chat. You can also connect with me on Facebook. Just search The Space Shot or click the link in the show notes and you'll find me. I'm John Molnix, and I'll catch you on the flip side.